Good.
Sent out the last minute thing about infantile merge those two lots.
I spoke to them this afternoon and they indicated that the lots were already merged, but apparently that's technically
Well, there
not the
was,
case.
long story. They
We don't have time for that.
The county is experimenting with a new computer
Uh,
I mean,
and
the first emails from June.
the town of Silvis was lucky enough to be the test guinea pig. And they got it all through nothing been filed electronically since like January. And
Oh, really?
they pulled all the strings out and got them to issue a paper merger, which they haven't done in over a decade.
So the application to merge the properties is,
It's
it's
been okay, but it's not online.
but it's not technically official yet.
That's right. Oh, it's official. I sent you copies.
Right, right. Now it is, yeah.
But as they were saying, they'll be receiving separate tax bills until they get their computer system up and
Oh,
fixed. We're almost there.
Thanks for coming in a second night. Appreciate that.
I don't know. Normally, the applications start to taper down, but
Good. It's Kevin's fault.
yes.
We gotta blame somebody.
Will Kevin be here today?
He'll be zooming. Almost all when I panicked about getting this online. Okay, it is officially the magic hour. We do have a quorum of 3. That's over half of 5. We advertised the meeting in the Wayne Times and it's been posted on the village website. Everything's in order. Our first application today is Larry Van G. Step up, Larry, and tell us about your project.
Well, I've seen some of you walk by on the camera, and I think my wife showed a couple of you around,
She did?
and just want to add you all know, what size is the garage here? 15 by 30 garage
Yep.
and a 8 by 20 deck off our existing porch.
Right. Well, you and I had a nice discussion the other day. So You're coming out just in front of the open deck, not the enclosed porch.
Yes, correct. Just in front of the open deck where the screens are.
Gets you a little close to the road. As you know, whatever we recommend still has to go to zone.
Yeah.
Your wife pointed out a couple of green dots along the left side of the driveway.
Yes.
And it was fairly apparent that that is the expected outward.
That's the outside edge, yes.
Okay.
Correct, that's the outside 15 feet.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay,
And the front part of the garage actually will be open, just covered. So only 30 feet of it will be garage will be an open 8 feet. It's just covered.
oh, the initial
Like a-
8 feet
Like a
is
breezeway type of.
open?
Yeah, yes. As you can all see, my collection of stuff there, it's hard to keep it all in order.
So then you're gonna have an overhead door for the back 22
Yes.
feet?
Yes,
Okay.
back 30 feet. It's actually a total of 38 feet.
Oh, it's full of 38
Yes,
feet?
Yes, sorry. It shows that on the drawing. It's a little, it's not quite very,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
not shown on the side. But,
Your wife also indicated that there'll be a man door, as the term is
Yeah.
used,
on the back side.
on the back side of the
Yeah.
garage.
So we can get out those two
Right.
pieces of the road.
The only question I had is, have you thought about where you're gonna put your garbage cans?
It's a good question. I think they're gonna go on the side of the garage between the house where I'm gonna put them. Maybe underneath the breezeway part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just something to think about.
Yeah. We go down to one garbage can from like October
Yeah.
to May, and then we go back to two, so. But I haven't really thought about that.
One of the things that we normally ask about is ventilation on a garage. I know that you're gonna have a man door, overhead door.
The man door, two man doors, overhead door, and I think it's backed out for 3 windows.
Yeah, it looks like.
Yeah.
And the roof line is an extension of the existing roof line?
Yes, it'll meet up to the other roof and it'll have a little bit different pitch coming off of that.
It will, oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, there's no other real good way to.
Yeah.
To do it other than cutting up into the other roof and trusses and.
For the siding, you're gonna try and match the house.
Yes, best I can. One side of it might be a batten board, pole barn, a metal siding, batten board, but the rest of it will match the house. There's batten board on the addition right now.
Mhm.
Bill, you have any other questions?
No, no,
No, I don't.
Okay, we're gonna open this up for public comment then. Is there anybody in attendance that would like to comment? Anybody on Zoom wishes to comment, please unmute yourself.
I'll comment. I think that a garage would serve Larry well up there, and I'm in support of it.
Okay, thank you, Phil.
Phil Leon from Fifth Street.
Yes. All right. Anybody else on Zoom wish to speak? Okay. Hearing no more. We'll go to public comment. All right. May I have a motion?
I'll move that we recommend the construction of the 15 by 30 lean-to style garage and the 8-foot by 20-foot deck as outlined in the application for consideration by the zoning board.
I will second that.
All right.
Yes.
Yes.
And I vote yes. So Larry, we'll see the zoning board next week.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. And thank your wife for taking time today.
I will.
Times 2 or 3. or
Yeah.
something like that.
Thank you very much.
All right, that brings us to Millwall. Present your project, please.
So we have 2 lots left on Lake Road. Lot 1 and 2. And after deciding to possibly build a house there myself, we kind of sat back there and listened to the noise, like the road traffic, just constant. It goes, it goes, it goes. And then we saw like a little tree house breaks down. Sorts, I think further down the tree house. So then we decided, you know, maybe it would be a good idea to do something similar to that, but not as expensive like how they did it, but just like eight cottages. Like 2 bedrooms per cottage. So they could house, you know, if they had weddings down here, they could house 32 people. So that's what we kind of came up with, and we wanted to just present it to you guys and see if you thought.
So that's,
Did you guys see the cottage that looks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Picture
Yeah,
on your application.
something similar to that, yeah, it'd be very nice.
would be very nice.
You know, the RV park is right there, I mean, and really, in all reality, we're probably only on 12 weeks out of the year. So we're probably taking quite a bit.
So you don't plan on winterizing them?
Oh, they'll be winterized, but I don't think we're gonna pull, I don't wanna do like a long-term rental person.
Okay.
I want to just do the Airbnb thing. So they'll be vacant quite a bit actually.
So I've been operating under the impression that 1 and 2 had already sold, but obviously they hadn't. How about lot 7? That's the big one behind on Santel.
Santel, that was sold a while ago. So
Okay.
the people, I think the family that lives on Santel, yeah. So they didn't want somebody building across the street. That's a 10-acre lot.
And the ones on Seaman, they're sold or?
Yeah, I sold those to the Martinez. So I don't think it will have any real effect of that area because we're really close to our trailer parks. And honestly, it's such a busy road. And then also people, we're not gonna have like a pool outside, we're not gonna have like a bunch of stuff for people to get out of the, run around the property. It's gonna be local.
Tent camping,
No,
trailers,
no. So it's gonna be the kind of,
And what about, are you gonna allow fire pits?
I mean, there'll probably be something like that, yeah. But if I own the house myself, I could have 50, 60 people there, or 100 people there, like at times. You know, I mean, I don't see what would be good. I mean, it's not gonna be people out of control otherwise.
well, as you know, this is a residential district, and this requires a special permit, so.
Would it be a special permit or would it be an actual change in zoning?
Kevin, is this a special permit?
So it's a use variance is what it is, because it's a not permitted in the book. So it's an actual use variance for it.
Okay, you variance.
Yeah.
Now, if he sells the property, does that variance go with it?
Yeah, variances go with the life of the property.
Okay,
We can put, we'll request, zoning to place conditions on this, correct?
Yep, you can always request whatever you'd like on there.
Um,
It would represent a significant change in potential use from strictly residential. It's an intriguing idea, intriguing concept.
When we were back in there, our lots are not big.
Right.
So like the Martinez lot is a lot deeper, so she's a lot further back. So she probably doesn't hear the noise a bunch of feet. When we were back there, actually really noisy. And just the cars just going by, it's just constant. And we just felt that, maybe this might be a better plan.
Everybody knows and observe the 30-mile-an-hour limit.
I'm assuming.
Only in the golf carts.
What is the potential distance you're thinking of between the units? How much?
I was shooting for like 10 to 12 feet possible.
Because the drawing seems to suggest that,
Yeah, I was about 180 feet wide, I think the diagonal overall. And these units were 25, 26 wide. And then I was like 10 feet tall between,
between.
yes. For sound animation, so you don't hear in one, you don't hear the next to the reverse.
No, four-wheeling trails.
No, they can't bring their four wheelers. It's just for overnight stays, so.
It would be honoring, it's saving the trees up front.
I always had, yes. I see there's another project going on the street, looks like they're tearing a few trees.
Yeah,
Across the road, yeah.
Yeah, I would try to isolate as much as possible, so you don't really see it.
gravel driveway, paved
I'll pay
driveway.
it and pay it eventually on that.
Okay, drainage.
I'll have to have my engineer redesign everything with the cottages on it. The properly drained.
If zoning approves, you'll need to have those when you come back.
Kevin, I have a question. The property across the street,
Yep.
that was the Girl Scout camp or whatever. What is that zoned?
I believe that's zone residential as well. Hold on, I'll pull open their zoning map.
It's zoned residential.
Is it?
I happened to look at it thinking, why isn't it zoned park or,
Right,
yeah,
that's,
whatever?
I mean, it's kind of, for allowing, if that's considered residential.
And it was used for camping for
Right,
the Boy Scouts, then the Masons.
Yeah, it's zoned residential as well.
so I guess my thing is, can you say no to one and not to the other?
That may have pre-existed
Oh, that's true.
anything that someone recently scribbled Rs and LCRs on.
The Boy
I think-
Scouts goes back into the late 40s.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I think it'd be important also not to have, if zoning were to approve this, it'd be important to have what your plan, your regulations, restrictions would be
Right.
as part of the submission.
Yeah, like a forward.
Yeah, I need a list that have plenty of references.
Okay.
That you can research on that. One more question.
I don't have I assume they're all gonna have public water and public sewer.
Yes.
No.
How does the village address the water and sewer for each of those units? Is it, are you cha-chinged on all 8 of them? Like the rest of us are?
I don't know how that would work. I don't know.
Kevin. the-
Yeah, because it's different for those ones because each one is gonna have I assume I think in the plan it showed a kitchen, a bathroom. It's just like an Airbnb, so they'd be charged 8 units, I believe. For that one, it's not like an actual campsite. They're units. So
Okay.
I believe they're charged.
So
I'm not the water billing guy. I believe by definition those are 8 units. So that's how it's charged.
So it sounds like 8 meters then.
I believe so. I believe each one is individual.
Well, I
meter.
probably have one full meter for all of them.
And I know it's just how it's billed.
Like that, but you want.
Well, I don't know, maybe
Yeah.
I'm wrong, that could be wrong.
Okay. All right. Bill, any more questions?
No.
We're gonna open this for public comment. Anybody in attendance wish to speak? Okay.
Under my knowledge, I have 1 water meter, but we have 3 units on the property. We pay for 3 units of water. Because they have kitchen bathrooms.
Thank you.
Maria?
My only concern is, well, the safety of my kids. Because when we purchased properties from you, that's the reason we purchased the other lots, because I have 5 kids. Being a business owner, I'm not home very often, and having all these strange people coming in, and the lots are so close. That's my main concern. The other thing is, from when I sold my other house, the realtor we worked with, he told us that the value of your house is based on the value of the houses around your house. So how is that gonna be for me? If it's a residential area where he had it programmed on the plans that homes like similar to mine were gonna be built on those lots.
Okay. Kevin, can you shed any light on that?
On the assessment question, is that what you
Yes.
want? So assessments are based on fair market value of all the sales in the area. Right now, our fair market value is through the roof, so assessment's kind of hard to answer. I'm also not an assessor, so we only have Nate, the town assessor, who can answer questions honestly. So if I tell you no, it won't affect it, or yes, it will affect it, I have no idea. I just know it's based on fair market value. And then he has an equation based on the quality of your structure plus fair market value, and he comes up with a value based on that. So it's really a
Nate-
question for Nate, the assessor.
Okay. Sodas assessor, is that Nate?
Yep, Nathan Mack. Yep.
All right, so I can check with Nate and see how that might impact Mrs. Martinez.
Absolutely. Yeah, and he'll give you an honest answer. He can run, current value versus fair market. He can look at if that specific scenario affects anything, if he'll affect anything, like if he'll change anything based on it. He'll tell you.
Mrs. Martinez, I would be happy to do that if that before we come back and consider approval.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah, it's just because we have so much.
Well, I
invested in it.
get it. That's a beautiful house you got
Yes.
there.
Right.
Everybody comes by and says, wow, that's a pretty house, so. And we do appreciate you opening down the street here, so. Okay,
Thank you.
so I'll talk with Nate, and as we already said, it would still have to go to zoning before it came back here, so. I have some time to do that, all right? All right. Anybody else in attendance wish to speak? All right. If you're on Zoom and wish to speak, please unmute yourself. Bill?
Yeah, Phil Leon, the only question I have, and it's more towards Kevin, and it's just a general question. So I own 4 different zoning classifications in the village. And, being a real estate investor, I buy zoning. And I look at the permitted uses, the variances, the special use permits, and then the not permitted uses. I would never buy a property that has an NP on it if that was what my use was going to be. So, so are we saying that any zoning classification, even if it's a not permitted, we can apply for a use variance, even though it's not permitted? Usually there would be a V if it was allowed with a variance.
For one, that is not this board's, duty, that would be the zoning board to determine that.
But it's still, you got recommendation to zoning, so it kind of starts here, but it's more for my own personal use. So in the future, if I have a property that has an NP on it and I want to do something not permitted, file for it.
I'm aware of some potential things that you're looking at, so I understand, okay?
All right, well, all right, so I don't have to be restrictive when I buy other pieces of property in the village, even if it's an MP. You'll hear a use application.
I don't think we can say that. We take it case by case. All right?
I just think that we're so close to that RV park, that, I mean, I'm right there.
Okay, well,
Yeah, and man, I'm not saying I'm against you. I'm looking at. I'm you know.
well, like I said, Phil, it's gotta be a case by case. I can't.
I wait a
make a blanket statement that anything goes. All right? Okay. Anybody else wish to comment? Last chance. All right, we're closing public comment.
Bruce, would this also go to the county for their consideration?
Kevin, does this have to go to county?
There's no trigger under 239M, so it's up to you guys if you wanted to send for optional review. But county might kick it back and just say there's no trigger. It's not within 500 foot of a municipal boundary. That's not within 500 foot of a state or county highway. So it might not trigger for that.
Right, I got that new list of exemptions, but not much does trigger one. Okay.
The county asked for a lot of
We can
exceptions.
always recommend sending it, and then the county can make their own decision.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions? If there aren't any questions, then may I have a motion?
I move that we make a recommendation to the zoning board to accept the preliminary site plan review 7992 Lake Road to construct 8 24-foot by 34-foot 2-bedroom cabins, creating a campsite where campgrounds are not approved in a residential district.
Second.
I'll second that.
Bill, how do you vote?
This one's a hard one, Bruce.
I know. I know. If
I'll vote to approve it at this stage.
at this stage, it's fine.
I vote no.
You vote no. I will vote yes. But I would like to amend that motion, if I may,
Please.
to suggest that no more than the 8 are allowed to be built, period. I don't want it turning into row after row. Yeah. All right, that's going to zoning, and you'll see them next week.
Right, thank you.
Do you want to re-vote on your amendment to that?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay,
I'll
So
continue this.
no more than 2 campsites, or no more than
No more than 8 total structures.
8 totals? Okay.
all right.
I'll continue to approve the recommendation at this stage. Yes.
I continue to vote no.
Okay, and I'll continue to vote yes. So,
Okay, thank you.
all right. Team, Thomas. You're on the line. There you are.
Hi,
Would you like to tell us about your project, please?
sure. We own we merged our lots on 6th Street. So we want to build a Gerber home on our lot, on our empty lot, next to our cottage that's existing. And we're going to keep the cottage, and our son is going to live in the cottage, and we're going to have the home built right next to the cottage.
So your son's gonna live there full time or?
Yes. We are winterizing the cottage, and so we do not intend, it's going to stay in the family. We do not intend to rent it out at all. And so we'll have the two houses on the property.
Be honest with you, my biggest concern was on the fact that the new building will go on the old property line. And then, whether it's you or your son or somebody else may want to subdivide that back out. Otherwise, I think it looks nice.
I honestly, it's we have no intention of subdividing it back out. We just merged it for the intent of purchasing the new home and building it in conjunction with our existing cottage. And quite honestly, it's really not going to be an option from my perspective, and we have no intention of doing that. So. Hi, John.
Hey, John.
And when I stopped by earlier, you said you're gonna try to have just one driveway for the two houses. So you
Well,
have a shared driveway.
yeah, that's what we were thinking. If we built the garage in between the two places, and we had the one driveway because it's right butt up against the other cottage, then we would share that driveway between the two. Because it's all in the family. It's going to stay all in the family. We have no intention of subdividing or leasing out or, renting out, nothing. It's going to be right within the family. So.
Evan, what is the required side setback for the proposed structure?
It's going to be 12.5 feet because it's a full size lot. It's 100. It's a 100-foot lot. So it's a full size lot, 12.5.
Thank you.
Yep. That's where the variance comes.
Right.
We did work with the design engineer, Green and Associates, on the house placement, tried to split the difference to give us a nice buffer to the neighbors. The grade is such that, it works well to be kind of centered where we have it now. And, it's got all utilities available. So I think there's plenty of room to fit the structure there. And I think it'll sit real nice, in the surrounding neighbors.
And John, the conversation about the garage location, that, the diagram that we're looking at is the proposed location of the garage. The garage isn't going to be any closer to the existing cottage or any differently than it's shown in the diagram here.
Looks like a garage.
Yeah, right now the driveway is like 17, 18 feet wide going straight into the 2-car garage. I'm not sure if they would like to widen it a little bit to the right, so there was a little additional parking in the driveway. 17 works fine. Okay.
No, that's the plan. We're gonna stick to that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Like I said, my only concern was the potential for future.
Yeah, but I think in some sense, they can't move it any further to the north.
Well,
There's only 6 feet
They
to
have no
work with
place to
there.
go.
And so really, the placement of the house as it's currently being proposed sort of blocks the kick of a subdivision at a later date.
I would hope.
You're not gonna be on the planning board at that time?
I hope that they live a long, healthy life. And that I retire from this job before it comes up.
Honestly, it's our family lot. we have no, I think I would kill my kids if they tried to do that after I'm long gone.
All right.
Come back and haunt them, right?
Any-
I have no further questions.
I don't either.
Anybody want to make a,
Well, should we do public comment?
oh, you're right. Would you like to comment?
Sounds great.
Okay. Anybody on Zoom, Bill?
Yeah, I'll comment. They're my neighbors. We share a property line, and they're good people. They're moving to Scotus Point. They sold their home in Syracuse or the surrounding area, and they're going to retire here. And I think they're going to be a great year-round addition to the community. And I know they're both their sons and their grandchildren spend the summers there, and I support their application.
All right.
Thank you, Phil.
Thanks,
That's
Bill.
You're welcome.
All right. Last chance, if you wish to comment, please unmute yourself. Hearing nothing, we'll close public comment. And now I'll ask again for
A motion? I recommend that I make a recommendation for the zoning board to accept the preliminary site plan review of 7568 6th Street to construct a 1590 square foot single family structure owner occupied, which will be the second residential structure on the property, allowing for 32% lot coverage where 30% is allowed.
I'll second that.
okay, I'll start voting. I vote yes.
Yes?
Yes.
All right, it's passed. All right. You'll be seeing zoning on Monday. And if everything goes right, we'll see you back here on the.
Infantines are seeing, I think, zoning on the 25th. Or yeah, 25th. I'm capped for zoning board. They're not Monday, I don't think. Let me double check, but I'm pretty sure it's not Monday.
No, zoning's not meeting on the 11th.
Not the Infantines, I think. Let me double check. I just had too many applications for zoning. Let's see.
Okay.
Thank you very much for taking the time this afternoon.
Oh, my pleasure.
Yeah, I
Thanks
appreciate
for coming out and looking at it.
All right, well, if you're seeing zoning on the 25th, we'll see you after that. All right?
Okay,
good.
Kevin, you'll let us know?
Checking.
Good evening.
Oh. Yep, you guys are on for the 25th.
Okay,
Thank you very much. Nice evening.
Thanks, guys.
Good
okay,
night.
thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay. That brings us to last but never least, Mr. Taylor.
Yes. So our request is for setback variance for a detached garage at 8269 Lake Street Extension, also known as Rose's Closing. I have stamp engineer drawing, you should have those, site drawing. And no one visited me today.
I did, I was
I was
there. Yes.
Cindy waved at you driving away.
Oh, maybe. Oh, yes, as you pulled up in the black car.
Okay.
Yes.
I was
yes.
there yesterday, knocked on the door, nobody answered.
I was running there. Okay.
Well,
No, I was on
I
the,
would have loved to been there to speak.
Yeah.
It's always,
I did take the opportunity to walk the grounds and
it's a mess.
no, it's in process.
It is. It's always going to be limited in market value because it's got 7%. So we are going to dress it up a little bit.
So
This is the start, it's the garage. You gotta have a garage up there. If we're gonna, it's our primary residence and we're gonna live there for a while.
get more of that.
Yeah, so I noticed there were stakes in the ground, so that was the garage, correct?
Yeah, the builder helped us lay it out and place it
Okay, because that was super helpful.
as best we could.
Right.
Trying to envision it and also making sure that we stay back as far from the corner as possible.
Mhm.
But there's plenty of visibility, a lot more than there was. Well, the bushes were small. Nice second, whack the trees down. And so we wanted to get some site work done so we could get a better visual location. And we're gonna be able to back out of it in the winter.
Yes.
So that's why it's one of the reasons it's angled.
had we met up when I was there, I would have asked the question about the existing block wall that is there.
So, yeah, so that is actually was the old greenhouse that Rosie's grew her flowers in. And we are taking that out, the part of the wall that's failing. And we're gonna regrade that so that it's attractive. And we're gonna re-side the whole house next year.
It looked like there had at one time been a garage underneath.
It's really odd, when they put that addition on 10 years or so ago, they just bolted it on, so the original block wall is still there. And spacing that they left out doesn't fit a door, overhead door, hardly fits a man. So I'm thinking it was gonna be glass. For her, for seedlings in the winter, that's what I was guessing, but I talked to the previous owner, he didn't have any clear idea why it's that.
Why do you find this orientation of the garage preferable over locating it so that you would enter in directly from the south, have it basically located where the block wall is?
We did look at that, and so we were looking for curb appeal from coming from the north. And I think the curb appeal is much better to have the garage position where it is. It'll finish off the lot, and it'll match the house side, and it'll look like it was the plan on. And plus, we want to be able to drive into the garage from the north, so the walk to the house is shorter. And we're gonna do some nice landscape, hardscaping to pull it all together. It's kind of like a compound.
So we're driving the off and make extension.
Yes. Well, actually, they're both called.
all the streets are called Lake
Yeah.
Street.
Okay,
And it also says it's a private drive,
Right.
it'll be off of the section that
is in the front.
faces,
Where the,
Jeff
where,
County Road.
yeah, where the current drive is now. It's
Right.
fine, we're just gonna extend the current drive in, so.
Jeff Alcantara. Before he passed, lives across the street there on the corner.
Who?
Jeff Alcantara. He was here, got his patio,
No, he's passed.
yes. And so now it's up for sale.
All my neighbors are very happy with it. They haven't really gotten to know it, but they're very happy to see something happening in this house.
Well, I understand that, but always nice to get it fixed up. That's good for everybody.
So when you make reference to sort of tying in the look of the garage with the house and the compatible siding and the like, the garage and the house aren't going to connect.
No. And I don't foresee ever doing a breezeway. But there's no future plan to connect.
Okay.
You would be removing the old block walls and regrading that.
Yes, well, there is one block wall that's gonna remain, and that's the one on the edge of the house. It's solid, it's not falling, and it's retaining the dirt, a significant amount of dirt to keep the walkout. And we're gonna relocate the shed. I'm not sure where that shed's gonna end up. I don't know if that's important.
You indicate wood handicap ramp. That's all.
Yeah. That was,
Let's say I didn't see it.
somebody actually came and took it. Free of charge.
So hopefully they get to reuse it.
That's my hope too. I can tell you some future ideas that we have. We would like to put a porch over the existing patio on the front door with an angled roof to juts off the front. And clean, just make it look like a normal house. So I'm not sure, I'll trust my contractor to tell me what we can get. Run through the thing.
We siding on the garage, we're gonna try and match the house or?
Yes, and we're fortunate that we're gonna pick some sort of gray. So we're gonna use the two manufacturers, the whole barn construction that match the siding. So we pick them both at the same time. We match it as closely as possible.
It's a garage, windows or second egresses.
Yeah, so we have a man door that's gonna be on the northwest side. I know it's at an angle, but it's northwest. Two front garage doors. And windows yet to be determined, but two of them.
A window would be.
We like windows.
Yeah,
It allows for ventilation.
the plan calls out for 2 windows.
Okay. So, the prior board member was a member of the fire department, and that was one of the things he kept hammering home, was to be able to ventilate that, get the fumes out.
Yes,
All right.
I have no further.
That's a good one.
Yeah, my reference from a corner clearance perspective would be to see if there was a way to locate the garage more,
To the west.
yeah, I guess would be more in in parallel and in the horizontal, if there is such a
No, we were
term,
looking, and
to the,
we were actually
to the existing
looking at
house,
it square to the house
square to the house.
originally.
Yeah,
And when the excavator got out there, we ran into some concerns with drainage, especially with this walkout basement section. And the further back we go, the more fill we.
no, good point.
So that was really the compromise. And actually, when he positioned it diagonally, I said, that's perfect. It's gonna balance off the front of the house, coming around the corner. And it's gonna be perfect for driving in and out. And it's gonna enhance the property.
Oh, and I think it does the best job possible in terms of providing the corner clearance.
Right. And that addition is gonna be incorporated into the rest of the house. And so the garage now will not be blocking the addition as much as would be stuck in the back. So we were thinking about the south view of that single floor addition.
So you're talking about an addition that comes out off.
No, I'm sorry,
South end.
it's the existing addition.
Oh, the existing addition.
Yeah.
All right, got it. Nothing further, Chris. Okay.
All right, we'll open it up to public comment. Glenda, do you have anything you wish to say?
No.
Kevin, do you have anything you wish to say?
No, I'm good.
All right. That's the problem of being last. Or a good thing about being last.
Yes. I move that we make a recommendation to the zoning board to approve the preliminary site plan review of 8269 Lake Street extension to construct a 24-foot by 24-foot two-car garage as indicated by submitted plans.
I'll second that.
All right. Will, how do you?
I'm in favor.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
And Kevin, you'll see zoning on the 25th also?
I can't unmute. There we go. No, he is on for Monday the 11th.
All right. All right,
Last year.
That's really important.
Yeah.
okay,
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
good luck. Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I'll second.
Real quick, just while I have you guys on, I'm going to read something to you just so you guys understand where my interpretation comes from. So this is out of New York State Senate. This is the definition. A use variance shall mean the authorization by the Zoning Board of Appeals for the use of land for a purpose which is otherwise not allowed or is prohibited by the applicable zoning regulations. So I make the interpretation that even though it says NP, you can ask for a use variance because by definition, that's literally what a use variance is. And then we have criteria under 190-68 for how to grant them. So that's my interpretation. If someone's not happy with that, they can always appeal it at the zoning board and ask for formal interpretation.
I don't understand how it would really be any different than any other variance.
Yeah, if you're not happy with the way the code is wrote, you either ask for a use variance or an area variance, or if the zone is already zoned for a way that it can be used, it'll say SP or P. And then the special use permit means we put conditions on it, gets reviewed or not reviewed every year. P means it's just a permitted use. But I just wanted to read you guys the definition of why I come up with it.
Thank you.
It's actually on the wall here.
For use variances too.
Yeah, it's a area variance, use variance.
Yep. I forgot that we had that up there.
I'm next to it, so I.
Yeah.
All right.
So you just didn't make that up, huh, Kevin?
No, I mean, that's
And you read it correctly. I was reading along with you.
yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Kevin.
Welcome, guys.
Yeah, thanks.
Have a good evening.
You too. Thank you for
Thanks.
doing meetings. I'll stop doing this to you guys.
Promises, promises.
Yeah, have a good night.
Just a reminder, Kevin. I'll be here on the 18th. I won't be here again until we'll get back on the 26th.
Okay, got it.
You know, if it's a desperate need, maybe Neil or Janine could chair in their place. All right,
Yeah, not a problem.
okay, thank you.
Well,